Hello everybody, welcome to this quick tutorial on my Macbeth workbook. So the Macbeth workbook actually created in an Apple app called Pages. It's an iWork app, it's free, and if students have an iPad, then it's, I think, the best tool to create in. So this is basically a quick demo of what's in it and how to use it. So as you can see, there's a quick title page at the beginning. Students simply put in their name in this area here. All the pages that students don't need to mess with, for example, the cover, are locked down and they're actually PDFs anyway, so they can't move any objects. As you can see, I've structured the whole workbook in a sequence. There are acts, scenes, summary, and learning intentions for the key scenes, and students can simply just tick off the areas that they feel confident with afterwards. So it's a nice little checklist at the beginning of the main areas. I've split this particular workbook up into three parts, part one being context or history, and as you can see, the green pages symbolize a different section, and once again, I've populated this particular section with information. So I've taken it from numerous sources, in particular some Shakespeare websites, and also Stuart Pryke on Twitter has inspired a lot of context stuff, which has I've been really grateful for that because his material is fantastic. So I've put in the context in there, which was witchcraft and superstition. Again, students can't move this; it's completely static. It is a PDF which has been locked down. Same for this one, Macbeth, the gunpowder plot. You can see the lines so students can follow that chunk down information onto the second page, and it's broken down nicely for them there. Bit of a graphic on the next one. Again, another lockdown page. The I pages are just pure information. Students need to know this knowledge. It's nothing they have to do other than read it and understand it and build their knowledge from there. So again, just made with shapes in pages and just text boxes. So, quite elegantly put, I must say, but quite simple as well. Part two is themes and characters. So I've just stuck in a character map of the main characters and also their particular function in the play as well, what they do, just to give students an overview. And again, that's supported with an eye icon, which suggests it's just information. Similarly for themes as well, just broken that down into a quick mind map, and again, just pure information that's put in there. Scenes, I've started off the play summary. Now this is a page that students can add text to, so you'll notice at the top or the other graphic organisers, it tells students what they should include or what they should add on the particular page. So the play summary is essentially a table where students can put in the overview of each scene and can type in these boxes, and they're encouraged to put a little symbol as well to represent each particular scene. So they can get that from the Noun project. I've actually included a link at the bottom as well, so students can easily access it just in the same way that I have. So this is the first page really that students can actually interact with on this skeleton structure that I've put in. Next one is Act 1, Scene 1. I thought I'd start off the whole scene analysis by giving an example of how it could look. So there's a bit of an overview here. Again, just an information page, the techniques, the themes, and the symbols in the particular scene as well. And finally, I've inserted a glossary at the end. So these are the key words that students should use in their writing. So let's just go back to the beginning. I just want to talk about now the beauty of this particular resource, and that is that students can populate it with their own graphic organisers depending on what the teacher is teaching. So for example, if students are teaching, learning about a particular quote in a lesson, they can simply go to the plus, which is down here, retrieve a page that is suitable, for example, explode a quotation page like this one. And this is an editable page now that they can analyse the quote, they type it in here, and they work through the layers of meaning by typing in these boxes here. So let's have a look at the different pages that I've actually put in here. So this is the plus again. You'll notice there are quite a lot. There's 26 altogether, excluding the the title page and the blank page as well, which sometimes is useful. So I've got a mind map, short response page, scene summary page, scene analysis page, quotation analysis page, exploder quotation, which you just saw, key quotation bank, new vocabulary page as well, the Freya model, tier 2 vocabulary with the definition and links to Macbeth. We've got a character SEO, which is something that we use quite often over here, which is understanding what a character says, what their actions are, their appearance, and other people's opinions. Thoughts and feelings of characters, the character development line. So it's very generic, it's not specific to an actual character. Students can apply whichever character they want to these resources. Information breakdown. This one's actually taken from Stuart Pryke, the define, summarize it, transform it, and link it template, which I find is very, very useful. So just going down a little bit more, we have the research page, a summary one, symbols, dual coding motifs, so students can populate that with icons from the Noun project and talk about the significance of the actual motifs in the play. We have out of the box one, a storyboard one, in case teachers want to set a storyboard task, a comparison summary table. Screen recording as well is also very, very powerful. If students can screen record an analysis of a quotation and then insert their video into this box, that's a very powerful way of showing their understanding. And then a photography page, clips, video page, drawing, and retrieval practice, inspired by Kate Jones. So there's lots of options there, lots of variety. And I'm just going to show you, if I insert a short response page, for example, how this works. So students can simply just type in the box. They can go to the format option at the top. It does say add text, but they can essentially go to this format option at the top, change the fonts, and etc., etc. And they can add in a picture of whatever topic they're writing about as well to support their analysis. And they can move these pages wherever they want, so you can drag and drop them, which is absolutely brilliant for organizing knowledge. So this is designed for iPad, and I would highly recommend that you direct students in the direction of iWork, because Pages is fantastic for freedom of use, flexibility, and adding text, adding pictures, adding videos, adding audio to a document. So I'm just going to quickly show you how this works in Word. So Microsoft Word is, obviously it's not going to come up as well in Microsoft Word, but you do have the PDFs, you do have the information. The downside is you don't have the actual graphic organizers. So it'd be a matter of just adding text boxes or building your own from here. So it does work in Microsoft Word, as you can see, but there isn't the option of adding the pages, unfortunately. So you do get a very limited kind of use out of it. You don't get the full experience, but it's still there if you want to use it. Okay, so this is my quick tutorial. If you do have any questions, then please feel free to ask me. I'll probably do another video on how to add photo, video, and audio later. It's quite simple, but that is how to use the Macbeth workbook, and it's free to download from a Dropbox. I hope you find it useful, and I'd love to see some examples of it in action. Thanks a lot.